Hi and welcome to part 3 of this Pilates Matwork session. We have been working with a band, although we won't use it again for any of the exercises. We're going to start off on our tummies for this next part. So come and lie down onto your front. We are going to start off with the legs glued together, so really feel them connecting towards one another. Your upper body is going to rest completely onto the mat. So I'm going to keep my head to the side just so you can hear me clearly, but ideally your forehead will be resting onto the mat or onto a cushion, or maybe onto your hands, whatever's comfortable for your shoulders. So the first exercise is our single leg kick prep, and we're going to start off really simply. So we draw the tummy towards the spine, feel that support for your lower back. Bend your right knee, bring the heel towards your bum, and then straighten the leg back down. Bend your left knee and send the leg back down. So the out breath to bend, the in breath to straighten. So you'll feel a little stretch in the front of the knee, a little bit in the front of the thigh, and getting some lovely mobility into the knee joint. Make this your last one to the left leg. Good. If you need to, give your bum a little wiggle just to release the lower backs. So the next variation, we're going to make the legs more active. So what I want you to do now, before you bend your leg, is you're going to lengthen your right leg and lift the whole long straight leg just off the floor. Then bend the knee, bring the heel to your bum, stretch the leg back out and rest the leg back down. Left leg hovers, bend the knee, straighten the leg and rest the leg. Breathe out, leg goes up and bend. Breathe in, straighten the leg and rest. So you're going to feel this a little bit more into the bottom muscles now, and maybe more of a stretch into the front of the thighs. Just one more set to each leg. So we're going to finish with the left leg if you started with the right. Good. Remember, keep the tummy active. Good. Bum a little wiggle again. The last variation is the full single leg kick, but now we add in the kick, the pulse. So we're going to try to do everything the same. You start off by lengthening the right leg, bending the knee. As the heel comes to the bum, you kick, kick, and then you straighten the leg and rest it. Left leg floats up. Bend the knee, kick, kick, straighten and rest. We're going to use the breath, the pulsing breath, to help us with the movement. So we breathe out, breathe in to straighten, breathe out, breathe in to straighten. So you might feel a little bit more of a stretch now into the front of the hip. So we've got knee, thigh and hip lengthening as we add in this final variation. Let the breath help you. Try and get that heel as close as you can to your bum. Good. Don't forget to keep the tummy engaged. Make this your last set. And rest the legs. Give your bum a little wiggle. If you need to, have a quick little stretch back into child's pose. That might feel quite nice for the lower backs, releasing any tension. And then come back onto your tummy and into cobra prep position this time. So forehead rests onto the mat. Your hands are next to your face. Hands roughly ear level. Elbows just resting onto the floor next to your body. Your legs are going to open a little wider apart. This time heels turned in, toes pointing to the corners of the mat. Tummy lifting to the spine. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, slide the nose forward, lift the back of the head, peel the upper body away from the mat. Breathe in there and breathe out as you come back to rest. So keeping the tummy strong, just moving the top of the spine forwards to go upwards. The shoulder blades drawing down the back. Arms staying really passive, really relaxed. So only coming up as high as you can, not use the arms and just use the back. finished one more set, we're going to add in another little variation. Now you could stay in Cobra Prep. If you prefer, you can come into full Cobra. So the hands, if you have long arms, the hands will slide further forwards. If you have short arms, your hands will slide further backwards to help you with pushing yourself away from the mat. So we start off with the same exercise. So you come into Cobra Prep. Then you're going to push your hands into the floor and lift your tummy and your hips away from the mat. The pubic bone stays on the floor. We're going to add a little neck stretch to this movement. So take your chin down to your chest and then turn your head and look over the right shoulder. Then look down to the floor again, turn your head and look over the left shoulder. Come back to the center and gently roll your spine back into the floor, bone by bone. Same thing again, breathing out, coming back up. Breathe into Cobra, push away. Then gently nod the chin to the chest. Just breathe naturally as your head turns from side to side. Try not to hold the breath. And then roll down through the spine, bone by bone by bone. When you finish, give your bum another wiggle or come back into child's pose, rest position. We're going to finish just one last exercise on our tummies, and that's our dart. So bring your big toes together, heels drop away from one another. So there's space between the knees, your forehead rests onto the floor. You could turn your head to one side if you prefer. Arms lengthen to your sides, palms turn up to the ceiling. And you feel the shoulders kind of dropping towards the mat to begin with. So everything is really passive to start. Then we start to switch on. Tummy draws to the spine, legs squeeze together. Try and connect the heels, the inner thighs, squeeze your bum. Slide your nose forward, lift your chest, shoulders roll back and the arms lengthen down your sides. The palms of your hands connect onto your legs. And then everything switches off again to relax. Breathe in to prepare the body. Breathe out. Squeeze the legs, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, lengthen the arms. Big breath in at the top and breathe out as everything switches off to relax. Let's do 3 more sets. Moving at your own pace. Building up that strength down the back line of the body, feeling length at the front of the body and width across the shoulder blades and across the chest. When you finish your final set, come into rest position or child's pose. If you prefer, roll onto your back, give your knees a hug to the chest. Feet are together, knees are apart, arms reach forward and forehead comes onto the floor. Or maybe you could rest your head onto your hands. Take some deep breaths in and out, stretching those muscles you've been working. And from here, we're going to come into 4-point kneeling. So simply walk your hands forwards. Those of you on your backs, turn yourselves round, come back into 4-point kneeling. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread the fingers wide into the floor so you've got lovely distribution of weight for the wrists. Long spines to start, and we're going to keep the back straight and come into rocking. So with the back staying straight, you're going to hinge backwards and then hinge forwards. So the weight will transfer more to the legs, slightly coming off the wrists, and then you bring the weight even through the hands and the knees. We'll just do 2 more. Nice mobility exercise for the hips and shoulders. Then let's come into our cat. So tucking the tailbone under, curling the lower back, mid back, upper back, neck and head, looking down to the knees. Uncurl the spine, look back to the fingertips or the mat in front of you. Breathe out, draw the tummy in, lift your spine into that cat shape. Breathe in to hold the cat stretch and breathe out to release. We'll do 2 more. Breathing out. Breathe in to pause and breathe out to come back. Think of that lovely sequential movement, tailbone leading, curling through the spine. If you need a rest off the wrist, come back, maybe all the way into rest position or just stay on the knees, shake everything out. We're going to finish this session with a knee tuck from your cat and then a leg extension and an upper back extension. So we're basically working front and back of the body to bring balance to it. So you're going to need a bit of room behind you to straighten your legs. So come to the front of your mat, check that you have that space behind you. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And when you're ready, we're going to start off by coming into a cat, curling through the spine. Once you're in your cat, bring your right knee up towards your chest, bring your head towards your knee. Then lower your knee and straighten your back. Then stretch that same leg out behind you, and as you lift your foot, send your chest forwards and look upwards. So you feel a sense of length through the front of your body. Lower the foot, look back to your fingertips, knee comes back under your hip. So we swap the legs, you come into your cat, left knee towards the chest or the nose, release the knee, release your spine, then extend the leg. As it lifts, lift your chest, look in front of you, and release the foot, release the spine, come back to neutral. We'll do 2 more to each side. Breathing out for the cat, breathe in for the knee tuck, breathe out to release. Breathe in to extend the leg. Breathe out, lift the foot, and breathe in, lift the chest. Look in front of you, stretch away from the leg. And then breathe in to release. Coming into the cat. Knee to the chest. Extend the leg, lift the chest, lift the foot. Last one. Remember, the pelvis should be staying level as you do this, so don't lift the leg too high, it might tip you over. Last one, evening up through both sides of the body. When you finish that last set, come back into rest position if that feels good for your body. Take some nice deep full breaths into the backs, the sides, the bottom of the rib cage. Give your wrists a little circle if you need to, that helps to release any tension, and then gently roll yourself back up to kneeling or to sitting. We're finished part 3, we've got one last little section to finish off with, some more standing work. So when you're ready, join me for part 4. Really good work so far, well done.